Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and we have a review today. I'm going to be jumping into the new Marvel movie called Eternals. One of my favorite things about reviewing films is when you can find a movie that you have okay expectations on and then that movie just completely blows those out of the water. For me, that was actually Eternals. I went into this movie optimistic. I am okay on the MCU. I didn't really love Chloe Zhao's award-winning film, so how was I going to go into Chloe Zhao directing a MCU film? Well, my goodness, hell, I really enjoyed this film. It just spoke to me as a fan of a lot of things. I like stories that are about gods and monsters. These big, crazy, bombastic characters that have to be pensive and look at their spot as a god in this world. Then they have to fight these crazy monsters, and then are they the monsters? Are the gods themselves pure good or pure evil? Is anything pure good or pure evil? That's the stuff that this film gets into, and I was not expecting that. I was looking forward to some cosmic Marvel stuff. I thought the cast was going to be strong, but everything worked for me. Is the movie a bit too long? Yeah, sure, it's 2.5 hours, actually a little bit more than that. It feels like that at times, but overall, other than the pacing in certain moments, there is not much I would change about it. Acting is strong. The action is even stronger. I am completely blown away that Zhao actually had very, intense, very emotional fight scenes. I thought the movie was emotional throughout. This is one of the first MCU movies that I think has pure heart and soul. There's personality, there's charm, there's love, there's people actually in love with each other. There's been relationships in the MCU that I'm like, this is the most wooden ass stale relationship. Not in the Eternals. People actually want to hook up with each other, and you can feel that. I enjoy that. This just hit so many notes. I think production design was strong, and the cinematography, there was breathtaking shots in this. Overall, this is a complete experience, and I think this is the future of Marvel, and if this is the future, I am excited. Trying to sum up the Eternals is no easy task. This is a film with a lot going on. There's a lot of characters, a lot of world building, a lot of exposition, though I think the exposition is handled very well. I think this was one of those more heavier sci-fi influenced films that actually handled it well. Look, and I know some movies don't have to, and I don't think every filmmaker should, but I was actually surprised that this movie held your hand and walked you through all the celestial space gods BS, and I was so happy. So basically we have the Eternals. They're these godlike people who are put on our planet millions of years ago, basically to serve as protectors or to maybe push society in a certain direction. As time goes on, they split up, and then they're kind of brought back together in a very let's get the band back together type of story, where all of them have to come and try to fight these evil things called the Deviants. The Deviants have been there forever, and then when they finally start springing back up, the Eternals have to get together to save the planet. There is a lot more going on in this film. I want to keep this as spoiler free as possible. There's a lot of drama. Some of the Eternals have a lot of baggage going into this reunion. There's our main character Sersi, who is okay on her position, but she has an eternal ex-boyfriend named Ikaris that she has to deal with. She is also trying to get the family back together and try to figure out her place in this world. She knows she's an Eternal. She knows she's strong, but what is the universe trying to tell her? What is her big celestial leader pushing her towards? And that's what she has to find out. There's a lot of characters here, and they all really work well together. I love the very simple plot of a couple of Eternals trying to get the rest of the family back together, going to these different lands, collecting them, saying, hey, things are getting crazy. Stuff has happened. We need you. I think that is such a simple plot, and it's a good way of introducing these characters without having to go, and this is the origin of this person. I very much enjoyed that. I love going to these different worlds. I love collecting all these people and going to certain spots that actually had a lot going on with it. And then we got our flashbacks to when the Eternals were starting to build our society. And I love that. I mean, we go to Babylon. We go to I don't know. We just go places. I mean, there's even a little flashback to Hiroshima here. There's a lot that they deal with. A lot of stuff to talk about here. This is one of those ones where I can try to explain the whole plot. I could sit here and spoil plot points to you, and you would still be like, huh? what, and I like that. It's not convoluted or confusing in the execution, but I do think there is a lot. Like, I could not sit here and describe everything that I saw, but what I did see, I very much enjoyed. Overall, what the Eternals boast is a very jam-packed cast that are all doing something. These are very, very larger than life characters. They're gods amongst these humans and how they feel about that. There's some who take their role as a god a bit too seriously. There's some who aren't ready for it and just want the most human, normal life. I like that. So some of the ones I really did like. It's kind of hard to get into all of them. I will say that Thena, which is Angelina Jolie's character, she's at the top of my list. I was very surprised to see Angelina Jolie really own her role in the MCU. She was as sarcastic as I wanted, as ethereal as I wanted, as motherly as I wanted. She had all of this going for her. I also really liked Druig, I believe his name is. Barry Cohen is the actor, or Keoghan, he's an Irish actor. I suck with Irish names, I suck with most names, but wow, his power was chilling and harsh. I actually really liked Richard Madden as well as this Ikaris character with laser beams his eyes, very Superman, which they name drop in here as well. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I also liked Phastos, who was this kind of the science man behind the Eternals, played by Brian Tyree Henry. Wow, so good. His character has a lot going for it. His power, I was blown away. We also have a great speedster here. Lauren Ridloff, I believe her name is. She's from The Walking Dead. Amazing actress. Her power, this is one of the best depictions of speedsters I've seen. I could just keep going through. I mean, Don Lee, he's from the Train to Busan film. An amazing character. So strong, so much heart, but actually knows how to have fun, have a smile. All of the cast, I thought, was really well balanced, of having the very heavy, more serious stuff and then balancing it out with some humor. I think Kumail is a good character here. I liked his Bollywood performance. I just wasn't completely in love. I think he was more of a pure comedy character. He felt very MCU. In a movie that felt more DC than MCU, he stuck out like a sore thumb. He's still good. He's still enjoyable. His character's fine, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I'll deal with Sprite, the little young Eternal who has a lot of attitude towards her. I'll deal with her before Kumail's character. That's just a personal preference. I'm sure someone's gonna love his character. So yeah, this is one that I think everyone's gonna find an Eternal that they like. And hell, I think there's a lot of characters to enjoy here. There's a lot going on that was so fun. The technical aspects of this film were just as strong as some of the more story character-based stuff. I think the cinematography, look, I did not like Nomadland, but I thought it was gorgeous. This film is gorgeous, but I actually was surprised that Zhao actually had good action scenes, and there's quite a bit sprinkled throughout. I heard early rumblings that there was like no action in this movie. It starts off with an action scene. There's one not too long later. There's one in the middle, that like a South America scene that I loved, and then there's a big end battle that I think is one of the best in the MCU. It's not just like here's an army of like CGI people versus an army of CGI people. No, our Eternals came together and worked. I think they worked better here than some of the Avengers have when they're trying to do a team up. This is like Justice League level of like, wow, this team came together and worked without bickering. Oh my goodness, I like to see that. So yeah, I really thought this final battle really sold me on this one, this being honestly one of my favorite Marvel films in quite some time. Eternals deals with big concepts of gods and monsters, but doesn't forget the human drama at the center of it. It doesn't forget to make you attached to these otherworldly characters, and that's what makes this movie so important, so memorable, so worth the viewing. If you guys know me, the MCU is one I'm hit or miss on. Like, I hated Black Widow this year, but I thought Shang-Chi was pretty good. Eternals is like way, like if I can put Shang-Chi here, Eternals is up here. Like, this is exactly what I want to see from the MCU. If this is what they're doing going forward, I'm going to be into the cosmic space god stuff. This was so delicious, so fun. I cannot wait for everyone to see it. What did you guys think of this review? What do you think of this film? Are you excited to see it? If you've had the opportunity to see it, what do you think down in the comments below? Subscribe to our channel because we make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Alright everyone, let's talk about Eternals, Marvel, and all the cosmic craziness down below.